Hello everyone, welcome back to Thomas Podcast here today. Today is just a video basically talking about what the hell was Secret Invasion. Now we've all seen it, potentially, the viewing figures haven't been great. I did a review of the third episode of Secret Invasion on this channel when the show had a bit of promise to it, and I was watching it and I was actually, excited to see where the show would go. I thought it was going to be a good show, and overall I'd say it was a good show. I don't think it was as bad as some people were saying. In fact, I got a lot of enjoyment out of it, including the finale. However, I can't help but feel that this is a missed opportunity for Marvel. I mean, Secret Invasion is one of their biggest stories in the comic books, and this time round it was kind of smaller stakes, but that could have been a good thing to do. That could have been really interesting. You could have done a different take with it, which is what the first few episodes were, this kind of espionage, who can you trust sort of thing. But then it made the mistake of most of the Disney Plus series, and it just became CGI, jokey, funny. It failed to become indistinguishable, which is a criticism held at a lot of the Disney Plus shows, is that they kind of just follow the same formula. 6 episodes, really decent openings, a bit of a boring middle when nothing happens, and a rushed ending, which is what this was. But it sort of didn't need to be. This one could have been 4 episodes really, and it could have been 4 strong episodes. They went for 6. I thought it was a decent call. And then for 2 episodes, nothing really happened. I mean, Telos just died, and we sort of move on from that. And that was basically it for episodes 4 and 5. That's all that happened. We find out that Rhodey's a Skrull, which is probably one of the easiest things to guess from the fact he's the only main Avenger in the series. I mean, there was no question that it was going to be him, and potentially Nick Fury, but they've already done that. So that would have been fun and interesting. So really what we got was a watered down version of a comic book with a changed genre that they didn't really go into, and at the end they just turned it back into regular Marvel cheesiness. I mean, that final fight, I can't deny I got a kick out of it, seeing all the powers being thrown together. I mean, even the CGI looked a bit ugh, but we all know what the issue of Marvel and CGI has been, and it's not potentially, obviously there's a lot of stuff with how rushed these artists start to get this stuff out, so I'm not going to hate on the CGI too much. But why does Secret Invasion, this really slow, interesting character piece for Nick Fury and the Skrulls, turn into every Avenger fought between 2 characters that neither of us are really that interested in? I mean, Gravik's an interesting villain, and Kingsley Ben-Adir is fantastic, but him versus Gaia was not the fight we wanted to see. Also, I really like Emilia Clarke, and I like her when she appears in this show. The issue is she's not really in the first 3 episodes. She doesn't really have much to do until Telos dies, and then the only reason that you knew she was going to be important is because she's Emilia Clarke. That's the only reason that you kind of cared for this character. But even then, you're sat there thinking, what's the point? You're sat there going, what can this... Why is this the fight we've got? And then you've got some really interesting bits of dialogue that are misconstrued and a bit confusing because it's not the characters you think they are. And again, the Skrull logic isn't that well thought out. Like, do Skrulls have not only the memories but the emotions of the characters they take over? Because that speech from Fury, which was Gaia, came very much from the heart. And if that's acting, then Gaia deserves a bloody Oscar. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those sorts of things. So it's really confusing to me to try and distinguish what's going on throughout the show. It's really difficult to know what's going on throughout this show. It's a tricky one. And I think they just missed the mark. You got one of the best casts in Marvel, really. And you messed it up. How do you mess this up? It doesn't... the issue is it's not even that bad. The issue is that it's a bit mediocre. I can't grasp that. Again, the biggest issue about this was the whole thing of, well, they didn't have any mainline Avengers in it, so therefore, didn't really matter. That's all. It just didn't matter. The show just didn't, you know it was going to be War Machine as the Skrull, because nobody else is in it. I think that's the issue. And I get, obviously, everyone's doing their own projects, and we've recently... the mainline Avengers, some of them are off-world and all that sort of stuff. But then don't do Secret Invasion this time, because Secret Invasion is about who can you trust, which Avengers are not really this area. Well, in this one we only got one Avenger in the whole show. It's going to be him. my question is why? Like, they did the same thing with Civil War, which I guess people said was scaled down, which it was. But at least that made sense within the MCU timeline and the characters and the stories that they were already telling. And this, to me, just kind of goes nowhere. It kind of sets up the show that we wanted to see. When, at the end, you see all the Prime Minister get killed and stuff like that. That's the show we wanted to see, where people were dying because the whole Skrull invasion was out there. If anything, this show should have started with the President's address. That would have made the show super interesting from the off, and it would have made everyone go, okay, this is a really interesting show. Instead, it's kind of a low-key, under-the-radar battle, where all the predictable people are Skrulls, and there's some interesting conversations going on, but not enough. And then, at the end, they kind of go, oh, Rhodey, how long have you been a Skrull? And we don't know yet, because part of me thinks they don't know. I mean, the director went, I think it's Civil War, so that means the director of the show doesn't know, which is the issue with the MCU right now, is that you can tell that Kevin Feige definitely has plans, definitely wants to do stuff, but I think doesn't know how to execute at the current time. Obviously, when he first started, Jon Favreau, he had a lot of directors that were doing the same kind of parts of the universe, so I guarantee communicate with them a lot better. Whereas now you've got like 10 projects every 2 years, you've got 10 different directors, and it sort of doesn't go together. And I'm confused. I don't know where we're going with Marvel at the minute. It seems like you've got this character trying to, you've got, who's the Avengers right now? We've got Avengers Kang Dynasty in 2 years. It doesn't make sense. Like, at least in Infinity War, yes, the Avengers were broken up, but you knew who your main six were, and you knew that the other characters were going to come along. Who is the Avengers in the Avengers Kang Dynasty? Who are they? Because we don't know. There's no build-up. There's nothing. There is zero. We've got more build-up for the young Avengers than we do for the actual Avengers. And that's the issue with Secret Invasion. It's the lack of forethought going into these shows. And like, again, this show is fine. It's adequate. It's okay. It's solid. But it's frustrating as a fan of this stuff when people go, I switch off at Marvel, and you can't really go, oh no, you should come back because this is good. You could for Spider-Man, but everyone's going to tune in for Spider-Man. Again, Guardians 3, well, Guardians 1 and 2 were already great, so people are going to check that out. Shang-Chi is probably the only one of this entire new character era where you go, you have to check that out. That was good. That was really good. Again, Hawkeye I liked. Loki people are already going to watch because they like Loki. So what was... The Marvel issue is bigger than just Secret Invasion. But the Marvels is out next and nobody cares. I care. I'm a fan of Miss Marvel. But I didn't mind the show. I thought the show was fine. So it's tricky to know what's going to happen next. But Secret Invasion was just... It felt like the wrong thing to do at the time of release. Like, it didn't feel like Secret Invasion. It felt like Nick Fury. In fact, if the show is called Fury, which I understand is already something on Disney Plus already, or Hulu in the States, it would have been better. Because this ain't Secret Invasion. There's no there is no secrets to be revealed apart from that of War Machine. And everyone knew that going in because he's the only Avenger in the show. So yeah, that's my thoughts, guys, on Secret Invasion. It's okay, but that's the issue. Marvel can't keep getting away with okay because people are going to slowly lose interest faster than they would like. But yeah, guys, if you did enjoy today's video, please do like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be back soon, hopefully with a more positive video.